Okay, graph each system of inequalities. I'm going to graph these since these are standard. I'm going to show you how to get the x and y intercepts and graph them. On this one right here, we have x minus y is equal to -1. If I cover up my y, I get x equals 1. If I cover up my x, negative y equals 1, so y is going to be a -1. So I know my x-intercept's 1 and my y-intercept's -1 on this line. So 1 and -1. The slope's going to be +1 in it, so it's going to do this. It's just going to go up. Put my glasses on. And it's going to go like this. Put all your grid points. Okay, so I have my line. Now then, the y is negative, so this would end up flipping, so I would shade up. So this line's going to be shaded up. Right here, 4x minus y equal -2. Cover up the y. The x is going to be 1/2, or -1/2, which will be right here. And the y is going to be a +2. Okay, that's kind of hard to graph with the fractional slope. So let's switch this over. I'm going to move the 4x over. So -y is greater than -4x minus 2. And then we're going to divide by -1. And I'm going to get y less than 4x plus 2. So my y-intercept's 2 and my slope's 4 in it. So up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, up 4 over 1, down 4 over 1. Notice it's going to cross right at that 1/2, isn't it? Down 4 over 1 again, and down. So the line's going to do this, and it's going to be dashed, isn't it? They're both dashed lines, right? And this is less than, so I'm going to shade down on this one. So this one's up, this one's down. This shaded part would be in here. So any ordered pair in here would work. Now then, I'm going to show you how this would work. Let's make this mx plus b. I'm going to move my x over. -y equals -x plus 1. And then divide, or I'm sorry, it's less than, right? Then divide by -1. You would get y greater than x minus 1. So my y-intercept is -1, and it goes, my slope's 1 over 1. So it's the same line, and I would shade up. And both lines would be dashed, wouldn't they? Both lines would be dashed. Right here, this line's solid, this line's dashed. And all of these are going to have x and y intercepts that are whole numbers. So if I cover up my 2y, x is going to be -6. And if I cover up my x, 2 times what's -6? That's going to be -3. So my x-intercept's -6, my y-intercept's -3. X-intercept's -6, y-intercept's, I'm going down 3 over 6, so half of that would be what? Down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. It's got to be a -1/2 slope in it. So draw the rest of my dots. Down 1 over 2. Keep going down 1 over 2. And then up 1 over 2 over here. Draw all your grid points. This line's solid, so I'm going to draw a solid line. So this line has a slope of -1/2 and a y-intercept of what? -3. If we were to switch this, let's go over here and switch it. I would have 2y less than or equal to -x minus 6 divided by 2. And I would get y less than or equal to -1/2 x minus 3. Notice that the y-intercept's -3 and the slope's 1 over 2, so it worked, didn't it? Okay, let's do this one. Cover up that y. 2x equal to -2. My x-intercept will be -1. Cover up the y. And the y-intercept, 2 negatives makes a positive. It's going to be a +2 in it. So my x-intercept's -1. My y-intercept's 2. And this would have a slope up 2 over 1, wouldn't it? So I would just go up 2 over 1. And then go backwards. And this line would end up being dashed, would it? So I'm just going to make my grid points dashes. Okay, now then, this y is negative, so that would end up flipping, right? So this line's going to be shaded up, and this y is positive, so this won't flip. It's going to be shaded down in it. So this line's shaded up, this is shaded down, so this is the shaded part right here. So any part in this ordered pair or on that line would work. And let's change this just so you can see it. I'm going to move my 2x over, so I'll have negative y less than negative 2x minus 2, divide by negative 1. I'm going to end up with y greater than 2x plus 2. So the y-intercept's 2, and the slope's 2 over 1, isn't it? I get the same line by getting the x and y-intercepts.